All right, settle down and listen up. This is your Filipina field commander, and class is in session. You think she's attracted to your maturity because you're quiet and pay for her cousin's milk tea without a fuss? You think those gray hairs are a panty dropper? Anak ng... Let me translate. You're advertising that you are a walking, talking cash machine with a password weaker than a wet paper bag. I'm here to give you the goddamn war manual, the rules of engagement. You've been warned. Pay attention or pay the price. You came here, didn't you? 30, 40, 60 years old? Maybe a nasty divorce behind you. Maybe just tired of the ice queens back home. You have some money saved, some time on your hands, and you heard this was paradise. A place where men are respected and women are warm, beautiful, and grateful. It's a beautiful story, and like all beautiful stories sold to lonely men, it's a fucking trap. Dating in the Philippines isn't a romance novel. It's a high-stakes poker game, and you just sat down with your life savings. Every smile isn't an invitation, it's a calculation. Every touch isn't affection, it's an assessment. You need to understand this right now. Mistakes here are not cheap. They don't just cost you a bad date or a little embarrassment. They cost you thousands of dollars, months of your life you can't get back, and a piece of your soul when you realize the love you paid for was a rental agreement with an expiry date. Every decision is a bet, and a wrong one can wipe you out completely, leaving you with nothing. You're playing the game all wrong. You're leading with your wallet, thinking it's your heart. That's your Western Prince Charming programming, and in this jungle, it's a fatal liability. You've been trained to believe that providing financially is how you earn love, how you show your worth. Here, it's just a sign that you're a soft target. It's blood in the water, and the sharks are circling, smiling those beautiful smiles. Every dinner you pay for without a thank you is a failed test. Every emergency you fund is you losing another chip. I've watched men like you land at the airport, full of hope, and I've seen them limp back onto the plane a year later, hollowed out and humiliated. They all made the same mistake. They thought this was a search for a partner, when it's an interview for a sponsor. I'm giving you the cheat sheet because, frankly, watching you get played like a cheap ukulele is getting boring. This isn't academic theory from some psychologist. This is a practical guide to survival from someone who knows exactly how the game is played from the other side. So, you're sitting at the table. The cards are ready to be dealt. But before I show you how to spot a bluff, how to protect your stack, and how to actually win, you need to decide what game you're even playing. Because playing for love when the other side is playing for survival is a guaranteed way to lose everything you have. Forget what you want. What do you need? Ask yourself this and be brutally honest. Do you want love, sex, or survival? Let's get this straight. You are not allies in a foreign land. You are competitors. Rule number 1. Stop seeing other foreign men as your comrades in arms. They are your direct competition, and the women are keeping a scoreboard. I saw a guy from the UK, let's call him Nigel, get jealous because a German was talking to his girl. So what does he do? He walks over, interrupts, and offers to pay her rent for the month. He thought he won. All he did was show her his exact price, his weak flank, and she marked it on her map. Because now you've set the terms of engagement. You're not a man she desires. You're an auction she's running. This leads directly to your second massive error. You're terrified of silence. You can't just sit there, comfortable in your own skin, because you're scared she'll get bored and wander back to the German guy. So you tap dance. You tell jokes. You buy another round. You desperately perform to fill the air. You've become the court jester. The moment you stop juggling, the show is over, and she's gone looking for the next circus. And here's the dirtiest secret, the one you don't want to admit. Error number 3. You're paying for validation. It's not even about her anymore. It's about your ego. I had this Canadian guy, a sweet man named Tom, whose girl had a stolen wallet emergency. He sent $200 without a question. Her reply? A heart emoji and, "You're my hero, baby." He felt like a god for 10 minutes. He didn't pay for her problem. He paid to feel like a hero because he was a zero back in his own country. That's how the ambush is planned. It starts with 200 for a stolen wallet. You passed her test, not the other way around. You showed you're an open faucet. Next, it's 500 for a sick uncle's medicine. Then it's 1,000 for a business opportunity that's a sure thing. You think you're being a good partner, but you're just following the breadcrumbs they laid out for you. Each payment takes you deeper into the kill zone, and her sweet "I love yous" are the camouflage hiding the financial guillotine. But these are just the basic traps, the landmines for the absolute beginners. This is learning not to step on a rake in your own front yard. Avoiding these mistakes doesn't mean you're smart, it just means you have a basic survival instinct. You're still on the perimeter of the real battlefield. Because the next error, it doesn't just make you poor, it's the one that makes you infamous. It destroys your wallet, your reputation, and any chance you have of finding someone real in this city. And it's the one most of you are making right now. And this brings us to your most pathetic mistake, the one you think is romantic. Error number 4. You're a jealousy-fueled ATM. She mentions a rich guy at her work, a guy who bought her lunch. She posts a photo with some random cousin you've never heard of. You feel that little sting, don't you? That's not an accident. That's a flare, fired into the sky to get your attention. And like a trained dog, you come running with your wallet open, ready to prove you're the bigger, better man. You don't win by outspending the imaginary rival. You lose the moment you compete. When you buy her a bigger gift, take her to a fancier dinner, or send extra money to prove a point, you've just taught her the most valuable lesson of all. Your insecurity has a price tag. You've handed her the remote control to your bank account, and the jealousy button is the one with the $sign on it. She's not testing his value. She's confirming the price of yours. This is the core of your next failure. Error number 5. You've forgotten that you are the captain, not the taxi. A taxi goes wherever the passenger wants, waits patiently while they run their errands, and gets paid a small fee for the service. You sit there, engine running, while she visits her auntie or handles a family emergency. You are waiting to be told the next destination. You are a utility. You are not in command of this voyage. You're just the guy she hired to drive. A real captain has a destination, a purpose. He invites a co-pilot to share the journey. He doesn't pull over every time someone on the sidewalk has a sob story. When you let her drama and her manufactured emergencies dictate your time, your emotions, and your money, you are failing her deepest test. A high-quality woman doesn't want a taxi driver she can order around. She wants a captain of a ship she can feel safe on. She is testing if you have a goddamn map. Most of you are failing that test. You're driving in circles, paying for the gas, and wondering why you're getting nowhere. But these mistakes, these financial ambushes and emotional games are still just the cover charge. They get you in the door. The real, soul-crushing cost comes later. It's what happens when the taxi runs out of fuel and she just calls another one, leaving you stranded. The game changes entirely when you stop negotiating with hope and start understanding the rules of the real end game. All right, enough. Enough diagnosing the sickness. We're done with the autopsy of your last failed relationship. You're not here to understand why you died on the operating table. You're here to get the surgeon's hands. It's time to switch from being the patient to being the commander. We are moving from defense to offense. The difference between the man who gets played and the man who wins is a system. A cold, hard, repeatable process. No more hope, no more guesswork, just a ruthless checklist. Your life, your future, your resources. This is not a public park with an open gate policy. Think of it as a private runway. You are the airport director. You decide who gets landing clearance, who gets to refuel, and who is denied entry and told to circle until they run out of gas and crash somewhere else. Not every pretty airplane gets to land. Most of them are crop dusters leaking oil pretending to be private jets. Your job is to check the manifest before they even approach the tarmac. So here is the framework. It's a 4-stage protocol. Filter, test, decide, exit. It is not emotional. It is not flexible. It is a machine for sorting allies from liabilities. Before you waste 1 minute on a date, before you buy 1 cup of coffee, she goes through the filter. This is a non-negotiable binary checklist. Does she have her own life? Does she have a job or at least a definable ambition beyond meeting a nice foreigner? You're not looking for a beauty queen. You're looking for a co-pilot. If, and only if, she clears the basic filter, you move to the test phase. This is where you actively and without warning deploy the tools I've been talking about. You will test her with your silence. You will test her with a strategic no. You will test her with pressure. These aren't traps to be mean. They are diagnostic tools to reveal character. A high-quality woman will pass these tests without even knowing she's being graded. A user will reveal herself instantly. This is where you separate the wheat from the chaka. This is your pre-flight checklist. Every single one of these items must be checked off before you even think about pushing back from the gate. You don't get to skip a step because she's pretty. You don't get a pass on one because you're lonely. Get a pen, take a screenshot, tattoo it on your arm. I don't give a damn. Memorize it. Because in the next section, we move from theory to practice. I'm going to give you the exact playbook for live fire execution. Pay attention. This is not a polite rally. This is a high-speed ping-pong match on a table littered with broken glass. Every shot she serves you, a sob story, a sudden emergency, a flash of jealousy, is a high-spin serve aimed directly at your weakest point. Your pathetic, romantic impulse is to lunge, to swing wildly, to just get the ball back over the net. But a man who is always reacting is a man who is always losing. He's already off balance, scrambling just to stay in a point he was destined to lose. So she serves you the classic combination. My sister is sick and I can't pay for the medicine. It's a fast one, heavy with guilt and pressure. The old you would have smashed your paddle on the table trying to return it, sending money before the ball even bounced. The new you? You apply the framework. You watch the spin. Is this a real crisis or a test of your wallet? You don't swing. You let it fly past. You test her with a firm, calm no. Next serve, a picture of her in a bar with some guy she calls a cousin. A side spin shot designed to make you flinch with jealousy. You feel the urge to slam a return, to prove you're the prize by offering to take her somewhere nicer, by buying her something bigger. You're fighting the urge to compete with a ghost. But a captain doesn't get rattled by a single wave. You apply the throne of silence. You don't react. You say nothing. You wait. And what happens when you refuse to return her garbage serves? The rhythm breaks. She falters. The game requires a response. When you don't give her the reaction she expects, the money, the jealousy, the drama, she is forced to change her strategy. She has to hit a clean shot. She has to come to you with something real, something that isn't a test or a trick. You haven't won by being a better player. You've won by refusing to play a rigged game. You dictate the terms. Because here is the final, unbreakable law of this entire battlefield. A woman is only a problem if she has a problem solver. She is only chaos if you are the one who cleans up the mess. The moment you put down your paddle and refuse to play her frantic, reactive game, you take all the power back. It's not about winning the point, it's about owning the table. The man who controls the space between the shots, who forces his opponent to play by his rules, is the one who wins the entire match. So let's review the mission protocol. You test her with your no, you test her with your silence, you test her with your future, and you test her with pressure. This isn't a dating strategy, it's your new operating system. It is the wall that separates the commander from the clown, the captain from the taxi. You are done being driven. From now on, you are the destination. Every interaction is a data point, and you are the one collecting the intelligence, not the one giving it away for free. Stop acting like a desperate bee trying to force a closed flower open. The flower doesn't open because you buzz louder, it opens for the sun. You are the sun. Your value, your mission, your discipline, that is the heat she responds to. The right woman, the high-quality flower, will open on her own when she feels that warmth. Remember this. Maturity is not your age. It's your refusal to waste your time on a flower that only opens for the reign of your money. It's your discipline. The price of ignoring this is not just an empty wallet. It's a hollowed-out soul. You know what to do. Hit the like button, feed the algorithm so another man can find this briefing before it's too late for him. More importantly, leave a comment. Share one piece of intel you learned the hard way. This is not a support group. This is an intelligence network. Arm your brothers. The man you save from getting played might be the one sitting next to you a year from now. And if this briefing saves you the $1,000 you are about to wire for her broken laptop, then do your duty. Send a fraction of that saved ammo back to this command post. Use the super thanks. Use the PayPal link below. Keep this mission funded and operational. Your 24-hour mission starts now. Apply one test. Just one. See what crawls out from under the rock. Now get out there, and remember, don't just get your dick wet, get your power back. End of brief.